tragedy, heartbreak, whatever you want to call it, the story of White Tiger and Mcoc is definitely one for the history books. Losing by 0.5% in the finals of Summoner's Choice is something that might never happen again, because that is just unreal to think about, right? And after what felt like ages of waiting for her redemption, she is finally here. We have White Tiger release an Mcoc, and she definitely packs a punch. So White Tiger, what does she do? Well, she has access to Fury, Power Steal, and Siphon, as well as Power Gain and Regen Nullify, and she also has DOT Purify, which is really cool for a Mystic character. She also has access to Heal Block and the Fear mechanic. The Fear mechanic is brand new, and what it does is it reduces unblockable ability accuracy by 100%, and she also has Nullify immunity, so a pretty good kit overall, and her main role is a damage dealer, but also good at countering champions like Gore with that DOT Purify, and both Hulkling and Gore with that Regen Nullify. So yeah, I think she has a pretty good role in this game. I feel like she will do pretty good against her main target characters, but also just be a good overall DPS, right? But now let's go over some gameplay of White Tiger. So for starters, we have this small health pool fight here, just a rank 5 White Tiger, and White Tiger is an odd one because I feel like she doesn't necessarily have a rotation. It's pretty much just using special attacks, power stealing from the opponent, then just dropping the SP2 to cash out all your damage output. So yeah, overall, it's pretty straightforward. The SP1 gives you double Fury, so that is pretty important to know, because that really ramps her up. And yeah, once you feel ready, just drop the SP2 and it does some very nice damage for sure. That bleed is ticking pretty well. We go back in, drop a combo into the SP1, and that just does it. So yeah, for short fights, one SP1, SP2, another SP1, that should do it for sure. 34 seconds or something, pretty great time there. But now we have a 711,000 health Drax. Definitely nothing to sneeze at, right? That is a pretty high health pool. So let's see how White Tiger does here. And White Tiger's maximum Fury cap is 5, unless you use the SP3, because that gives her an ability to go over the limit, right? But for this matchup, I'm just going to drop more SP1s to get those Furies up faster. Then I'm going to drop the SP2, and hopefully it just power steals a ton of power so I can just drop it back to back. And once that is done, then yeah, we're just in a pretty great spot. So yeah, 12,000 mediums already. Pretty great damage there just from the basic hits. And so far so good, right? We go back in, drop the SP2, and it does some very good damage output. Then we drop it again, and yeah, just really nice numbers there. The bleed damage is pretty great too. And yeah, now we're at 5 Fury, so we are pretty much at max ramp. And at this point, we can just end the fight with another SP2, or like 2 more probably. So now I bail out the heavy attack, go back in, drop the SP2. We're almost at the power gain range, which now we hit it. So we get another SP2, and that just does it. Really fun fight there. And once she gets going, the damage output is just really strong too. So that was incredible, to be honest. But now I want to show you how good her power control is, because if you play her right, the opponent will just never throw a single special attack for the entire matchup. And it's really cool, because not many champions can do that, especially the ones that, you know, are 7 stars. Because if a champion can do that, most likely they won't be a 7-star ever. And the only exception is Hulkbuster, and that's why he is one of the best tech 7-stars in the game. But yeah, here I dropped the SP1. Just gonna cycle the SP1s in this fight because it is the best use of, like, you know, power, especially in this matchup where you want to just have your power steal up all the time, because the power steal, it goes on cooldown every other special attack. So keep that in mind. You can't power steal on every single special, so you have to play this really cautiously. So I go back in here, drop the relic after this combo, then I go back in afterwards for the precision. Then I drop the SP1, we're at the 15% range now, so that means I get the power gain. Then I drop the SP2, and that just does it. How many special attacks thrown in that fight? 0, because White Tiger can just do that. Really crazy stuff for sure, and that was just a really cool matchup. But now we have this Hyperion, and White Tiger on combo enders, nullifies any energize or power gain on the opponent. So pretty good stuff there, like for Hyperions, for Icarus, for like any, I guess, power gain node as well. It does have its uses for sure. And yeah, there I dropped the SP1, but honestly, her utility is pretty niche, I feel like. She does have some pretty general things like being immune to nullify, but besides that, she kind of does like nothing general. Like her nullify is really niche, her heal block is also pretty niche because it comes off of a bleed. The fear mechanic isn't niche at all because it is brand new. Like nothing this character does is general, right? But I think that's a good thing because if you want to be like the best for something, you have to have a direct counter for that. And White Tiger has just that. She is like a direct counter to a lot of different things. And it's not just like this general jack of all trades, master of none. No, it's like she pinpoints something and just deals with it really, really well. So that's why White Tiger is just honestly a pretty good addition to this game because she is really good at directly countering some things. And some champions tried to do that, but they couldn't do it that good. For example, Danny Moonstar pre-buff, like she just wasn't really good for her target matchups. But I feel like White Tiger is just really good for those target matchups already, which is great because this character was really hyped up and I feel like she is delivering for sure. So yeah, pretty great stuff here for the White Tiger fans. Here I dropped the SP2, get the power steal going, get the unblockable up, drop it again, and yeah, that's just such a fun like chain to do. It is so satisfying. And yeah, that is about it for that matchup. So now we have the final boss here, which is this Crossbones, and I want to show you like how good that DOT Purify is, because if the opponent has a lot of buffs, then she is just really good for that fight. So how it works is for each buff on the opponent, White Tiger has a 20% chance to purify any DOT debuff off of her. So if it's 5 buffs, she has a 100% chance to just purify any DOT debuff that is thrown at her, which is really impressive, right? Because for Gores, for like any biohazard cosmic character, it is just a really fun time. So here I dropped the SP1, and yeah, we're just purifying everything now, which is really cool. And the rest of this matchup is just trying to maintain his Furies, because if he has, you know, less than 5 Furies, it's not a guaranteed chance to just purify the DOT, right? So even one of these bleeds will just one-shot me, because that's how this Crossbones is. He is really annoying to deal with. But here I dropped the SP2, and check this out. He's going to purify the bleed, right? But that is good for us because that gives him a Fury, right? Which means that we have a higher chance to purify any DOT off of us. So that is pretty much ideal. We want him to purify that bleed off of him because that just keeps this fight going. And yeah, he plays pretty passive here, but it's fine. Here he drops the SP1, thankfully. This Crossbones has some terrible AI, but when he does cooperate, it is such a fun fight. Here he drops it again, and yeah, so far so good. Here he drops another SP2 with a precision up, and it does some great damage output. And this is just such a fun time now. Once you're in the rhythm, it is so hard to get out of it, especially in this matchup where just so many buffs are expiring, so Mystic Dispersion is being fueled big time here. But we go back in, drop another combo, get that intercept thankfully, then just bail out the SP1 again, but he's playing passive here, which cannot happen. There he throws it, and we go back in, drop the SP2, some pretty nice damage here, and this is just so much fun. I drop it again back to back, and yeah, a nice 12,000 crit there. Go back in, nice 10,000 mediums, and this matchup is close to being done with. So yeah, overall, really fun. Drop that again, and this is the White Tiger that is just so much fun to play. And yeah, that was just a thing of beauty, really. White Tiger destroyed that fight. But yeah, that was super fun to do, and I feel like for Gores, for any other DOT matchup, she's going to be just as fun for it. But yeah, White Tiger, just super fun to play. Great for her target matchups, and also just a pretty good general DPS too. So I think for a Mystic damage dealer, she does hit her mark pretty well. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on White Tiger, and yeah, that's about it for me.